So if you're noticing that in someone that you know, I would hope that you know the person and it's not just someone random.
Mm-hmm.
That you would feel comfortable enough to talk to them, but like don't approach them as if you have the answers and you know what they need. But
Mm-hmm.
also take note of like what you're noticing within them, and extend that. Like, hey, I'm noticing this with you. Would you like it if we, seek some help? Obviously you can let them know they can call or text 988. That's a crisis suicide line, and I'll always
Okay.
recommend that you say that, or lead with that. At that point, if they're saying no, I'm good, you know, maybe a close family member, someone that maybe a parent or a close sibling or family member, you want to communicate with them too, to let them
Mm-hmm.
know, hey, I'm noticing this, because I think it's important to, if you care enough, to get involved and to have people who love them get involved too. Now, if they don't have those supports, if they don't have that support system, it makes it more difficult. But if they're actively suicidal, um, what we have when you call 911, we have what's called a crisis intervention team. So
Mm-hmm.
if you call 911, you let them know, I need someone because I have someone who's in a mental health crisis, and they will send a CIT officer, is what they're called, and they'll come to the person. And so they're not going to send a regular police officer, but someone who's actually a part of the crisis intervention team who handles mental health crisis. So I hope that makes
Okay.
sense. So
Yeah.
if it gets to that point where you're wanting to do a wellness check or welfare check or have a CIT officer come to them, I would highly recommend that because it wouldn't hurt. They can get. I'd rather them get mad at you about that than you do nothing. Right? I don't need your permission. Get mad at me later. That type of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
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 So yeah. So personally, for me as a therapist, if I'm helping someone who is, has suicidal ideations, I'm going to do what's called a safety plan with them.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they're actively suicidal, I'm not waiting, I'm calling 911. Or if it's to a point where I have to do an involuntary commitment, I'll do that if they're in a crisis. And so that's a whole nother conversation where the courts have to get involved. But um,
Mm.
yeah, if I know someone who's actively suicidal, I'm calling 911, and so a CIT officer will be sent to their home. So